Hello, welcome to this new video. This time we are going to analyze an email that I received a couple of days ago, and I'm sure that you also receive tons of these emails constantly. But what's interesting about this email is the timing, because it comes supposedly from the Social Security Administration, even though it doesn't say Social Security Administration. And this is the taxes time in the US. So, they're playing tricks, right? They're like trying to send these emails when the time is kind of aligns with what they want to do. And that is part of social engineering. The reason why I want to go over this is because the email is not sophisticated at all. I mean, this attack is not sophisticated, but it's very damaging if somebody falls for that. So as you can see here, this is an email with the logo of the Social Security Administration, and it says that there's an important update regarding the account, which it could be true, right? We don't know. But just as any other troubleshooting, one of the first things you would like to do, you would like to check the links. And if you hover over one of the links that says access your secure statement here, you're going to notice on the bottom left corner of the screen is pointing to an URL of SSA.vrcxx.com. Something that I always tell people to do is verify if that domain is legitimate. Right now, you can just put two and two together and you know that that domain does not belong to the Social Security Administration. It's not it. But if you want to continue with the troubleshooting and analysis, you can just do a quick search for that. And I went to VirusTotal and I typed the URL that was shown on that link. This is something interesting right here. Because if you just follow this, what we're doing here in this specific analysis is analyzing the URL, not the content of the file, not the content of the site or anything else. Now, what's going to happen is that VirusTotal is going to go through all these type of systems and it's going to check the history to see if there is any known vulnerabilities or malware that has been detected on that site. And as you can see here, everything that I see is pretty much unrated. Now, the reason why it is unrated, now if you see something unrated like this, it is suspicious for starters, right? If we go up, let me come up here. The reason why it is unrated is because that site was first sent or registered 23 days ago. So that is another red flag if you're getting something from any government agency or from any legitimate company. Most likely that site has been registered for longer, right? So that is another red flag. But I want to continue with this analysis. And again, I'm running this on a test environment on a VM that is outside my network. I wouldn't advise you to do this in a production computer, in a production environment. But I'm curious and I'm going to say, what happens if I click on this link? When I click on the link, look at the URL. So the first thing they're going to do is going to verify that I'm not blah, 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 that I'm a human. And pay attention to this message. It says access documents Social Security Administration, and Cloudflare is working or it's pretending to work. But notice this file can only be accessed on a PC. The reason why it says that this file can only be accessed on a PC is because they're going to try to exploit your Windows computer. In this case, I'm using Ubuntu, and the executable is not going to run, as you can see right here. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to show you is that notice the document or the page that is trying to download, right? That is trying to access. So I'm just going to click verify that I'm a human. And now it's going to say, oh, this is perfect. You are going to be able to download that file, but again, it keeps the message saying that it can only be accessed through a PC. Again, they are trying to trick people into using a desktop Windows computer or a laptop Windows computer to access this, and you're gonna see why. So I'm gonna click on download document, and the document is not um, it's not a document, it's a file. Now it says file not found. Let me see what happened here. It could be because I already downloaded it and it removed that active link from their end. So I'm gonna go over to my downloads folder right here so you have an idea. And as you could see, this is the file that was downloaded. It is an executable file. Now, if I had a Windows computer, most likely this file is gonna try to run automatically, and it's gonna try to install on its own, and it's gonna do what it was designed to do. So the next thing that you could do is not only analyze the URL, which you know that it's not gonna yield anything because it's a fairly new URL with not much information of malicious activity, but you can check the file, and that's what I did. So I went to VirusTotal, the same thing, and instead of checking for a URL as I did before, I am gonna check for that specific file. I'm gonna point to it, I'm gonna click select, and that's gonna scan the file. As you could see, this is the scan that I had. Now, the antiviruses that VirusTotal work with have already signatures, and they've been able to detect that this is a malicious file, as you can see right here. Now, if you have 1 out of 99, you may have doubts, maybe a false positive and all that. But in this case, you have many legitimate security companies identifying this as malware, even though many of them don't. So you have to use your understanding of what's happening here. Now, this is a Trojan hacking tool, and it's gonna also create a remote session to your computer. As you can see here, the family label is Connect Wise. So if you click on details, it's gonna show you more information about that. It's gonna show you the SHA, it's gonna show you all this. And if you keep scrolling down, I don't think it's right here. Let me see, there's a section, behavior. If you click on the behavior, you're gonna see what would have happened had you click on that file from a Windows computer, and it's not doing anything. So here it is, right? So it is analyzing, and it's gonna tell you what's gonna happen. As you could see, it's gonna show you the MITRE attack framework, the execution and executed files, persistence, it created a persistent session, so on and so forth. Now, if you want to take it a step further, because you want to see it in action, then you could use a service such as Any.Run, which allows you to run Windows sandboxes, and in this case, I'm using the free version of it. And the free version has its limitation, as you can imagine, but at least you're going to be able to see the file in action and what would have happened had you run this on Windows. And I'm not going to go through that because it's going to take a long time, but just needless to say, as you could see, the file is downloading a whole bunch of things to your computer. It's creating remote sessions, it's creating, changing the registry keys and downloading files on the system. Now, you can do more investigations if you want, right? If you click on the AI summary, it's going to provide some information. The information is going to be general information, not necessarily detailed, telling you that this is a malicious software. But you could put 2 and 2 together, and if you go to the indication of compromise, you're going to see the different IOC that have been identified for these files and why it believes that this file is malicious. Now, if you had the paid subscription for Any.Run, then you're going to be able to get more details on the systems and everything that is happening in here. So again, if you're getting some of these files, first thing that I would advise you to do, don't click on them, right? Don't open them, ignore them. The only reason why I open them, and I do that in a controlled environment, is for my own analysis and my own professional growth when I want to analyze things, see the way they work. But if you don't have the time or the know-how, I would advise you to ignore that, delete them. you're not gonna be able to stop spammers from sending things like that. From things like this, you will always get in. What you could do is educate yourself and get better at it. Now, if you have an elderly parents, or you know somebody who may not be computer savvy, make sure that you're telling about this type of attacks, because this is exactly what the attackers are doing. They're just sending these files to hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and maybe one or two of them or a handful of them are going to fall for that. And even if they're not able to access the Social Security Administration account of the user, they can, like ask for ransom, because this may be ransomware. So thank you for watching. I hope this information was useful to you. If you think it was useful, all I ask you to do is to click on the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you if you have any questions, you could leave it in the comment sections. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video.